Welcome to Beyond the Bizarre, a podcast curated to all things, well, bizarre. My name is Brianna, and I will be sharing with you urban legends, lore, ghost stories, and more from around our planet. Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Bizarre. And we are now in our third week of September. So tonight I have a new ritual for you guys, as promised. Last week we went over a pretty cool ritual called the Black Telephone Game. It was really cool in the aspect that it uses a rotary phone, which is one of the older phones that many people may not know of today. But I thought it was really cool. That's one of the really cool concepts that I liked about it. Tonight, I'm going to share with you guys another ritual for the month of September. This ritual is called Lady Spades. Now, before I get into it, I do want to state our disclaimer that this episode may be too frightening for individuals under the age of 13. So, if you're under the age of 13, please get permission from a guardian or parental figure before listening, or you can listen with your parent or guardian. Listener discretion is advised as always. So, once again, tonight's ritual that I'm going to share is called Lady Spades. So, the game of Lady Spades, or the ritual, I should say, goes by many names: Dama, Pika, or even Diki Dama, depending on who you're asking. The game of Lady Spades is said to be a descendant game or ritual from the well known ritual of Bloody Mary. And like most of the rituals that we have shared with you all already, it's an internet ritual. It surfaced up online. The similarities between Lady Spades and Bloody Mary is that both rituals use mirrors and similar methods of summoning the entity in which they wish, whether it's Bloody Mary or Lady Spades. So the game or ritual is set to have first surfaced around in the early 2010s. I find that pattern a lot with most of the internet rituals. It kind of started in the early 2010s there, around that same time frame. So I guess they kind of all just bounced off each other. Or it kind of seems like they may be a more modern update to older legends that have already been around, just to kind of make something different or to have something different. So you may be asking yourself, what is the purpose of playing Lady Spades or partaking in the ritual of Lady Spades? So, if you're lucky while doing the ritual, she may grant you a wish, but she also may not. The possibility of even earning a prize is more so than what you get when you partake in the ritual of Bloody Mary. With that, it's more so a bravery contest just for you to have the guts enough to summon her. Whereas with Lady Spades, there is a chance that you may get a wish granted, but there's also a chance that it may go horribly wrong. So the name Lady Spades comes from the Queen of Spades in a standard deck of cards. So there are a few different meanings to the term Queen of Spades when it comes to cards. In the game of hearts, the Queen of Spades is unlucky because she's worth high and therefore causing you to lose. In the game Old Maid, she has some negative connotations, but some good points too. In the game Old Maid, she kind of represents a more complex character that has a lot of negative connotations, I feel, so that's what kind of comes along with that meaning of her in that particular game. And even as far as tarot, those who read tarot cards, the equivalent to spades are swords. So in tarot, the Queen of Spades will be Queen of Swords. In the tarot deck, the Queen of Swords represents intelligence in thought and judgment. So when it's reversed, the Queen of Swords may be bitter and selfish and unpredictable. So that kind of leads us into the game of Lady Spades, where she may choose to grant you a wish, she may choose not to. Just as always, proceed with caution. How to play the game or partake in the ritual of Lady Spades. We once again, I know you guys are used to hearing this by now with our ritual episodes, but we here at Beyond the Bazaar are not telling anyone to partake in these rituals or play these games. You do so at your own risk. But once again, if you do so and experience anything, please let us know. We would like to hear it. How to play Lady Spades. Step 1. Choose your playing field. It should be somewhere quiet and dark, somewhere where you're not likely to be disturbed. Step 2. Gather all of your supplies. These are the supplies that you will need: a candle, a lighter or matches, a mirror, a writing tool capable of marking up a mirror, a deck of playing cards, and of course, a strong desire or wish. For the writing tool, lipstick is a common and good choice, although you may find other options that may work just as good. Either way, the writing tool that you're using should be red. The mirror can be a fixture in the playing space, such as a bathroom mirror. Before proceeding to the next step, pull the Queen of Spades out of the card deck. You can discard the rest. Step 3. At the stroke of midnight, or at midnight, I should say, bring your supplies to the playing field and turn off all the lights. Take the candle, place it in front of the mirror, and light it. Then take your writing tool, lipstick or whatever you have chosen, and write the words Lady Spades on the mirror. As an alternative, you may also draw a picture of a set of stairs leading to a doorway instead of writing the words Lady Spades. Step 4. Pick up the Queen of Spades in your hand and hold her out in front of you. She should be facing the mirror, just like you are. Then, close your eyes. Clear your mind. Take a deep breath. Relax. Do you feel relaxed? Chances are you do not feel relaxed at all. After all, how could you be relaxed? But try to relax as much as possible. And just remember to keep your eyes closed. Step 5. When you feel that you are ready, repeat the words, Lady Spades appear, out loud 7 times. If you hear a woman's voice, footsteps, or laughter, either nearby or far away, do not freak out. Do not panic. That's a good sign. It means the ritual is working. Step 6. Open your eyes. Don't be alarmed by the woman in the mirror, standing there quietly with her arms by her side. Look at her directly in the eye. Be sure to maintain eye contact with her, Whatever you do, do not break eye contact. Step 7. Calmly tell her your wish. Make sure not to sound demanding. Do not demand anything of her. Be polite. After all, she has chosen to grant you an audience, to grant you a wish. That's no small feat. Step 8. If she smiles at you and nods her head, or if she says softly, yes, you have been successful. Congrats, she will grant your wish. After this, speak out loud the phrase, Lady Spades disappear. Wipe the mirror clean, extinguish the candle, and turn the lights back on. As soon as possible, ideally immediately if you can, burn the Queen of Spades and dispose of the ashes. Step 9. Be sure to be alert, stay alert over the next few minutes, hours, days, or even months. In this time, your wish should come true. So pay attention. Don't fail to notice when your wish comes true. Here's some additional information that you should know or bear in mind while playing Lady Spades. In step 5, if you do not hear voices, laughter, or footsteps, or if you see only yourself in the mirror, in step 6, the ritual has failed. Speak the words, Lady Spades disappear. Wipe the mirror clean. Let out the candle and turn on the lights. Burn the card and dispose of the ashes as quickly as you can. You may try the ritual again another time, using a different deck of cards. Warning for the following. If, on step 6, when you open your eyes, you observe that the candle has been extinguished on its own, or if you find that Lady Spades is there and she's now facing you, that the card itself is missing entirely, or that the woman in the mirror has her hands pressed up against the mirror from the other side. If you fail to maintain the eye contact throughout step 8 of the ritual, or if she declines to grant wish for you, you're in trouble. All is not well. In the event that the candle has gone out, quickly as possible, relight it. If the Queen of Spades is facing you, rip the card in half. In both of these cases, be sure to speak the phrase aloud, Lady Spades disappear. Once again, wipe the mirror, let out the candle, turn on the lights, and burn the card and dispose of the ashes as quickly as you can, immediately. In the event that the card is missing, break the mirror, extinguish the candle, turn on all the lights, and search for the card somewhere in the room. If you find the card, once again, burn it and dispose of the ashes. If you don't find the card, vacate the premises immediately and do not return. In the event that you observe the woman with her hands pressed up against the mirror, if you fail to maintain the eye contact, or if she declines to grant your wish for you, once again, break the mirror, light out the candle, vacate the premises immediately, burn the card and dispose of the ashes, and do not return to the playing field and never perform this ritual again. That was a really cool ritual. I really like the fact that it already derives from something familiar to many of us, which is the Bloody Mary ritual. So I remember when I have first come across it, I remember thinking, well, this sounds similar to Bloody Mary, but more so has a bit more elements to it instead of you just standing in front of the mirror chanting. You're actually getting something out of it, the potential to have a wish granted. But at what cost? Like if the ritual doesn't work out, then what happens? It states do never try the ritual again. I wish we could know what happens if you do try it again after it fails. One thing that I wish that I would have put in the ritual if I was the one who put it together, I guess. One thing I would have put in there as to one of the first steps would be do not play in your own home because for one, if you well, it depends if you live alone, but if you live with your family, then being in a bathroom is probably, not the best thing to conjure up something that everyone's going to probably have to deal with. Another thing is that if you're a kid, your parent probably won't be too happy with you breaking the bathroom mirror. And also, you just don't want to have to deal with that. And plus, also, in one of the final steps, it does say vacate the premises and never come back. So if you play in your own home, then you're going to have to go back eventually. So why would you really put yourself in that position to have to deal with something like that? But if you do play and a wish is granted, like what type of wish? Is there a wish that's too big or too much? Or what are the, is it just random where she selects people that she wants to grant a wish for? Does she see something that she likes? Or, what are the criteria I should feel to have a wish fulfilled? I guess in order to find out, I would have to play, and I don't see myself doing that anytime soon because no, I just couldn't. But I thought it was really cool, that different urban legends, rituals, things of that nature can kind of develop into different things and have different steps, have different meanings added to it. Whereas Bloody Mary just started off just being a ritual, or well, not gonna say ritual, started off being an urban legend and kind of spread it by word of mouth. To now it's on the internet and now it has different other rituals varying from it. So I think that's really cool. And I thought this Lady Spades ritual was really worth mentioning on our September special of rituals. With that being said, with our ritual special, we're kind of aiming to share rituals that many people may not have heard of. So I was tempted to do the Bloody Mary ritual, and I'm not going to say I'm not going to never do it because I may, but it's just one that's so well known that I just chose not to really go over it. I have played Bloody Mary once. I was in middle school, and this girl was like, well, let me rewind. So, we were sitting at the table with this girl. She was a new girl at our school. And she was missing like half of her pinky, and I think half of her finger beside her pinky. And I remember asking her what happened. Now, in hindsight, that probably was rude to ask, but me being in sixth grade, I wasn't really thinking on that level. I just wanted to know what happened to your fingers. And she told me that Bloody Mary had took her fingers. So I'm looking at her like, who's that? Like, who's Bloody Mary? Is she a bully? Like, what happened? And she told us all about the game, about how you summon her, and she said we're going to do it tomorrow in the bathroom. So I'm like, yeah, yeah, I'll do it. And we went in the bathroom, and I think she only got one or two Bloody Marys out before I left. I, I'm sorry, like I love sharing this stuff with you guys, but in real life, I just don't really like to put myself in a position, especially in my mind. This girl is missing fingers. I'm seeing her fingers missing, half of her fingers missing anyway, and she's telling me that this thing did that to her. I'm not gonna stick around and have my fingers taken. That's what's going on in my mind. So I leave the restroom, and they come out shortly after. It was like saying nothing happened. Nothing happened of that nature, but one of my friends, she said whenever she would go back in the bathroom, just kind of felt uneasy, and I don't know if it was like a psychological thing where she just knew that what she had did, and she just felt weird about it, or if there was something maybe there that she had may have conjured up with that girl. So eventually we did try again, and I kind of stood away from the mirror. I was still in the bathroom, I was just away from the mirror, and they had tried it again. Nothing happened eventful, unfortunately. And I actually went home and told my mom. I was like, "Mom, we play Bloody Mary in the school because this girl said Bloody Mary took her fingers and she's missing her fingers." And Mom was like, "I don't know why you're hanging around weird kids at school." And I remember getting so mad. I was like, "Mom, you think everyone's weird, but anyway." She's like, "I don't know, you're hanging around these weird kids at school telling you about their fingers missing." I'm like, "Mom, her fingers really are missing." And we went, she, well, I think it was like some back to school night eventually, or some type of thing at the school where her mom was there, my mom was there at the same time. And my mom ended up telling her about her daughter telling all the other kids that Bloody Mary took her fingers. And her mom ended up telling my mom, who told me, that sounds so, that sounds so bad. But anyway, told me, my mom told me that she actually lost her fingers in an accident. So I remember feeling really bad about it, and my mom was telling me that she thought that maybe since we were both like into horror stuff, she just kind of just made that as a cool way to kind of cope with what happened to her. I wish I could remember exactly how she had lost her fingers, but that's what had happened, and I never really brought it up after that. We were still friends until she had moved away. She eventually moved away, so we were friends up until that point, and she was a really cool girl. And I think it was creative if that was a way for her to cope with what happened with her, if she was just doing it as a way to say, hey, this happened to me through some ritual or through some urban legend, then I guess it was a way for her to feel like, you know, I'm not just a victim of an accident. This is this cool thing that happened because she was a very alternative person. She's into horror and all the same things I was into at the time. So I guess she probably did use it as a defense, or maybe something did happen that maybe her mom wasn't privy to. I don't ever want to discredit or discount what someone says that happened. I don't ever want to be that type of person. So fortunately, I would never know what happened. It's been a long time since then, and fortunately, I don't have contact with many people back then. But if you're out there listening, if you remember, hit us up. But that ending story, my little story here, does conclude this episode of Beyond the Bazaar. We'll be back, of course, next week with another ritual to share with you all. So come back next Tuesday for more frights. Until then, stay bizarre and have a great night.